Oh, happy day. Good day, good day, good day. Hello, CW and Denise and Maria. Oh, you're here. Okay. And CJ. Um, and I'm sure Sister Jeannie will be joining. Um, thank you for getting up early for this Monday morning, this feast day. The first message from Dea Matronam Nostrae to the children of Fatima. Let me grab it. I'm going to read it today so that we can contemplate that during Mass and some of the talk about from St. John of the Cross. On the 13th day of the month, this May, Our Lady Dea Matronam Nostrae, May 1917, an apparition of a, quote, a woman all in white, more brilliant than the sun, unquote, presented itself to the three children. And they had, the three children had been forewarned by a saint from heaven the previous year to prepare and to accept their sufferings. I continue. Presented a woman more brilliant than the sun presented itself to the three children. A lady, please don't be afraid of me. I'm not going to harm you, unquote. Lucia asked her where she came from, and she responded, I come from heaven. The woman wore a white mantle edged with gold and held a rosary in her hand. The woman asked them to pray and devote themselves to the Trinitarian Theophany, Holy Trinity, and to say the rosary every day to bring peace to the world and an end to war. She also revealed that the children would suffer, especially from the unbelief of their friends and families, and that the two younger children, Francisco and Jacinta, would be taken to heaven very soon, but Lucia would live longer in order to spread her message and devotion to the Immaculate Heart. So this is a great day, a spring day, which is beautiful to ponder and to hold within our hearts, especially around Mother's Day. So I had a great day today. Yesterday it was busy, and the mothers that we were with, my two daughters and my wife, it was a very nice time. And I thank them for taking me out to dinner. It was beautiful. And we also got to got a last minute contact from an old friend who decided to not do his dialysis treatment any longer. And he just wanted to finish out. He stopped all his medications and wanted to finish out his life that way. And so his friends called upon all those who were meaningful in his life, and he wanted to see the Santa Croce family. This gentleman actually was very instrumental in the music part of my family. And to tell you a quick story, he had put, when we first moved to this area in New Hampshire, he had put a flyer in the auto parts store where he was celebrating his birthday with music, and to anybody who wanted to come to please to basically come, bring your instrument and come. And my wife saw that, and they had begun to play instruments, and it was quite an opportunity. She thought to get involved with some of the people in the neighborhood. And so we went, and we were immediately greeted by him at his, and it was an outside event, and we were greeted with friendliness and hospitality, and he invited the children up to sing, and basically they stole the show, and everybody didn't want them to stop. They only had so much material at the time, so it was quite a day, and I remember that. So I want to pray for, that's who I mentioned to pray for yesterday, Norman Vane. Now, I really, it's sad, but his soul is in very much a precarious state. So if you could say a rosary for him, I think he was this close to being Catholic, and we can say rosaries and hope that he makes that decision prior to his death. So thank you. Let's get started, and we'll begin with the morning prayers and continue with St. John of the Cross. In nomine Dei, matronam nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Trinitarian Theophany. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things, with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank God for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to the Trinitarian Theophany. O divine family, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. Let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. St. John of the Cross, dark night of the soul continued. Of other woes which afflict the soul in this state. In this state, there is something else which greatly troubles and distresses the soul, and it is that as this dark night deprives her of her powers and inclinations, she cannot, as before, raise her mind or affection to the Trinitarian Theophany, nor can she pray to the Trinitarian Theophany. This is the time to bow down her mouth into the dust, and to suffer with patience her purgation. The Trinitarian Theophany is who is now working in the soul. Therefore, she herself can do nothing. When she can neither pray nor fix her attention to any purpose on the divine matters she takes part in, any more than she can in any other matter pertaining to temporal things and intercourse, nor is this all, for ofttimes she is overtaken by such absences of mind, such profound lapses of memory, that for long intervals together she is unconscious of what she did or thought, or what she is doing, or is about to do. Nor can she concentrate her attention in spite of all her efforts on anything she is engaged upon. Forasmuch as not only in this state is the understanding purged of its imperfect knowledge and the will of its affections, but also the memory of its ideas and speculations, so must the soul likewise become dead to them all. The which extinction of knowledge extends to these dullnesses and lapses of memory, the which states of loss of consciousness and absences of mind are caused by the interior gathering inward of the faculties, and the total absorption of the soul in contemplation. For in order that the soul and her powers may be disposed and divinely attuned for the divine union of love, it was needful that she, with all her faculties, should be first absorbed into this divine and obscure, soulful light of contemplation, and be thus withdrawn from all affections and knowledge of the creature, the duration whereof is measured by its intensity. And so, the more purely and absolutely this divine light shines upon the soul, so much the more does it darken and empty and annihilate her in respect of her particular conceptions and affections, whether of things above or below. And likewise, when it shines upon her less clearly and purely, so much the less does it suspend her, and the less obscure it is. For it seems incredible to assert that the supernatural and divine light darkens the soul the more lucid and pure it is, and in so far as its translucency and purity is less, so is its obscurity. The which we can the more fully understand if we consider the proof given above in the maxim of the philosopher, to wit, that supernatural things are so much the more obscure to our minds, inasmuch as of themselves they are the more clear and evident. And so when the ray of this sublime contemplation touches the soul with its light divine, so in the same proportion as it transcends the natural capacity of the soul herself, doth it darken and deprive her of all her natural affections and conceptions, which before, by means of her physical enlightenment, she apprehended. Wherewith not only does it leave her in darkness, but likewise empty as regards her powers and appetites, soulful as well as natural. For like as a ray of light, if it is pure and meets with no object in its course whence it is scattered or reverberated, it almost imperceptible and is most clearly seen in its reverberation or reflection. So this soulful light, wherein the soul is steeped by reason of its excessive purity, is not of itself so distinctly perceptible or visible. Yet when it is shattered or reverberated from some object, that is, when anything especially relating to perfection is presented to the mind, or it is called upon to judge and decide between what is false or true, it at once perceives and understands it with infinitely more clearness than before she passed through this darkness. And so precisely in the same way doth she know the soulful light she possesses, which enables her to recognize with ease the imperfection that is placed before her. Like as the ray is not of itself so clearly to be seen, Yet if a hand or anything else intercepts its course, the hand is at once seen, and we know that the light of the sun was resting on it. Whence, in respect of the simplicity, purity, and all-embracing nature of this soulful light, untainted and unrestricted to any intelligible particular, natural or divine, since in regard to all these conceptions, the powers of the soul are void and null, the soul knows and penetrates with an all-embracing facility whatsoever earthly or celestial thing is placed before her. And this is the property of the soul, purged and emptied of all particular affections and intelligences. For in this total absence of delight in and lack of intelligence of any particular abiding in her emptiness, obscurity, and darkness, she embraces all things most powerfully. That is a wonderful contemplation there. And I look forward to getting to that point myself, where you begin to really see and know that what was just read here, that intuitive sense of right and wrong, if you will. My words are so poor compared to these. But I want to give a quick example. Somebody on the path to the transforming union will more easily be able to just outright say no to a temptation, and those who aren't even aware of that path find it quite easy and succumb to temptation. So that's why it's good to have counsel and somebody who says, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not the right thing to do in this case," because it's just wrong, it's sinful. And then you talk about it, and if they make the right decision, then they will in turn increasingly be able to discern those temptations for themselves. So if you have temptations like that you're not sure, I can try and help. All right, let's get started with Mass. Deum vobiscum, quoque apote. O God, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, Trinitarian Theophany, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc immaculatam hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus ofere tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus sed pro omnibus fidelibus catalocorum vivis aquae defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabiliti condodisti et mirabilius reformasti, Da nobis peruvius, aquae et vini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes qui militatis nostrae fieri dignatus est portaceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et regnat, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem, salutaris tuum depacantes, clementiam, ut in conspecto divine majestatis Tuae, pro nostra et totius mundi salute, cum adore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis, et in animo contrito susciamur ete Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum in conspecto tuo hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni Sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificit oblata prosequendo, et accapere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini preparatum, suscipe Sancta Trinitas hoc oblationem quam tibi afferimus a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae, et Papa Peter Sanctorum et istorum et omnium sanctorum, ut idis proficiat, ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignentur in celis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis, ad laudem et gloriam nominis sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram, totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, sursum corda, habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur clementissime mater et pater, Deum matronam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum, Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, hic sanctam sacrificam irribata. In primis, quae tibi afferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodire, adonare, et regere, digneris tot orbe terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorumque tuarum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, Norman Vane, Mindy, Clarette, Neil and Earl Lively, Mark Jr., Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Amble Tink, the Cantu and Duarte families, John Cahill, the Dosco, Nye, Tafour, Began, and Wolf families, Alex Tafour. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sedevacantist Catholic Council office at Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, ritual abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange, without usury, allowed, and for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. We ask Deam Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud, that you destroy Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. We ask that you release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus and send those demons back through portals to hell. Please also block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO, which is based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We ask Dea Matronam Nostrae to please save or transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel. We pray for the wisdom on how to grow and prepare natural foods and natural medicines. And we pray for the elimination of all harmful radiation waves in our air and in our homes. And we pray for the elimination of all parasites in our lives, whether in our own bodies or in our societies. All this we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel qui tibi offerunt hoc sacrificium laudis prosesuisque omnibus, pro redemptione anomarum suarum prospe salutis et inculamitatis suae. Tibi quid redunt vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriose semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Beatorum Martyrium Tuorum Papa Sancte Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum Tuorum quorum meritis precibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectionis Tuae muniamur exilio periendum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptabilemque facere dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pater tur, accepit panem in sancta venerabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in caelum, et ad Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit, dedique lumni sui dicens, accipite et mandicati ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonia est, accipiens et hunc preclarum caricimen sancta sacra venerabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave dedique lumni sui dicens, accipite et bibite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum. Hic quostescunque faceritis in me memoriam facietis. unde et memores Deum nos servutui, sere plebs tua sancta justem Christum filium tuum, Deum nostre, tam beate passiones, nec non, et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelus gloriose ascensionibus, offerimus praeclare majestate tui de tuis donis ac datis, supraque propitio ac sereno vutu respicere digneris. Supplices, te rogamus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi hec peferi, per manus tuum ut quodquod, ex hoc altaris, participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium Tuum, corpus et sanguinum, sum serimus, omni sanctificatione, celesti et gratia repamur per indum Christum Deum nostre. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Henry Stelzer, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum, et omnibus in Christum quiescentimum locum refugiei lucis et pacis et indulgeas deprecamur, per indum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et prestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea Matronam Nostrae, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quesumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis praeteritis presentibus et futuris, et intercedente beate gloriosa semper Deum Matronam Nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae Tue aduiti et a peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione se curi. Per eundum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum, Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Et commixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te, Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum Matronam Nostrae, quoperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivicasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum, corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tui semper inherare mandatis, et a te numquam separari permittas, qui cum eodem Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis Tui Deum Iesum Christum quod ego indignus Sumere presimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutum mentis et corporis, et ad me delam, percipiendam qui vivis et regnas, cum Dea matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestem et cipiam et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Calest. Dea matronam nostrae, non sum dignus, ut intercedete mea, sentant verbo senabatur anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum, non sum dignus, ut intrus subjectum meum, sed tanto de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignus, ut interes subjectum meum, sed tanto de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiat anima mea. Quod oris ansimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus, et te munere temporale fiat nobis remedium sempiternum, corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sancti et sanguis, quem potavi adheriat viceribus meis et presta, ut in me non remenia scerellum macula, quem pura et sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum et quoque apote, ite misa est. Deum gratia. Placea tibi sancta Trinitum obsequim servitutis mei, et presta ut sacrificium, quod oculis tuae majestatis indignus obtuli tibi sit acceptabile mihi, quae et omnibus proquibus irut obtuli sit te miserante propitiae per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here, in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Nostrae. Again, thank you for hanging with me on the Latin pronunciation. I appreciate that. I'm getting a little bit better day by day. Let's keep it going. And let's see. Anybody? Hello, Vietnam. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, it is the traditional Latin Mass. If you read it in the description, this is the original one. This was before any additions were made to it, as far as we can determine through historical documents. There's a lot of information about that on the website, ourladyisgod.com, and there you will find a lot that we're trying to undo that was added to the Mass and to the Catholic faith. It's unbelievable what we've been finding, and it's what's the word? It's joyful. It's releasing, getting rid of all of the error, practicing the virtues, and becoming holy, and it's good to see you here. And again, that's what I wanted to say was thank you very much for your patience with my Latin, because it is important that we do the best we can in our life in whatever we do, whatever it is, whether it's at your work, you want to be the best you can be, you want to be the most holiest person at work, you don't want to lie, cheat, steal, any of that stuff. It makes for a most enjoyable life. Really, I mean that. Okay. Thanks you for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. What a great way to begin the week here with the feast of the first apparition in Fatima. And again, please go and sanctify all those who you meet. See you tomorrow.